If you sell high ticket offers through your personal brand and you want to start making money or make more money from your YouTube channel, then today is the perfect video for you because I'm going to be breaking down exactly how we made this handsome man right here, Mr. Arthur Rypolov, go from 0 to 112K cash collected in 5 months from YouTube. And before working with us, he had been posting for an entire year on his YouTube channel. He had collected less than 10K USD from that channel. He had 2.2K subscribers, and his highest viewed video was 2.2K subs. So in this quick video, I'm going to keep it nice and brief. I'm going to show you the consequences of a broken channel, the sales funnel impacts a broken channel has, what was actually broken for Arthur, how we fixed it, and the results it actually brought to his business. And this is going to be the perfect breakdown of the YouTube sales funnel and how you can use it as a coach, agency, service provider to get more clients that pay more, pay quicker with less objections. So let's get into it. Who exactly is Arthur? Well, you may recognize Arthur from social media if you're into the space, but he's a highly experienced real estate developer. He was selling at the time, I think his offer prices have gone up by now, $4,000 to $40,000 plus USD offers. So nice high ticket offers. He was selling to 25-plus-year-old males in the US market with capital, with a around 3 to 4 market and audience sophistication level. So quite a sophisticated audience. And at the time of working, they were already collecting multiple 7 figures a year from IG and Meta alone. So this is particularly relevant to you if you already have a 7-figure business and you want to make other marketing channels way more efficient and actually tap into the potential that YouTube has. And at the time, they were obviously looking to scale fast and needed help from someone with their YouTube channel because, as I said earlier, they were completely stuck. So just before we jump into it fully, I do want to say this was a consulting service, which means 2 things. The first thing is that it wasn't all us. So we weren't actually managing the channel done for you. They had no one else actually helping them apart from a guy that helped record the videos. So it was just us and the videographer. But the second thing that this means is that if we did have more control, I think we would have grown the channel quicker, more, and collected more cash. So let's get into it. What are the actual consequences of a broken channel? So you know this is relevant to you, right? This video is relevant to you if you want to grow on YouTube, but this specific breakdown from a 7-figure business may not be relevant to you at your stage. To know what broken is in any area, we must first operationalize fixed. So define what we mean by fixed. Now, in YouTube sense, but also in your business sense, from a personal brand business, your audience needs to know, like, and trust you. So that's fixed or not broken if in this context. In this context, fixed means your audience is converting quickly. So your ideal customer, the people that you actually want to sell that can receive value from your offer are converting quickly. And the final thing is that they're paying more. So your offer is fixed or not broken if your audience, the audience you're attracting, know, like, and trust you at scale. They're converting relatively quickly and they're paying you more rather than less, right? They're not coming in needing a bunch of payment plans. But yeah, what was actually broken then for Arthur and most other 7-figure coaches doesn't really all apply to 6-figure coaches, but it can as well. The first thing is that they had no highly effective nurturing at scale. So when you have a 6-figure business or just a smaller business in general, you can have you can nurture your leads on a more personalized scale. So even if you have like an AI custom tailored lead magnet, that still doesn't really nurture your audience at scale because there's only so much an AI can actually give to make a real change to that person's beliefs or education around your business model. But YouTube is the best way to do it because it's one to many, and yeah, it's like you can actually show behind the scenes, etc., which we'll get into later on in the video. But no highly effective nurturing at scale. And we fixed this and it produced these crazy numbers, which I'll get into the details of later on in the video. But as you can see, YouTube was closing at a 2.6 times better than other channels. So we'll get into those specific numbers. But the first thing is no highly effective nurturing at scale. So the actual specifics as to why this was broken or what this causes or why this happens is as your ad spend goes up, so does your lead flow, right? If you have a good team, it's in direct correlation with ad spend. The more you spend, obviously at big scale, it slowly dips in terms of how much ad spend you're spending and how much lead flow you have. But with them, obviously they were scaling with ads, and their lead nurturing, as the lead flow went up, the lead nurturing went down. So they were hitting less leads in the DMs. Their dialing team were missing a higher percentage of leads. They had no real effective lead magnets, if that makes sense, that actually, nurtured people effectively at scale. So this means your lead warmth and not even quality, but the likelihood of not only booking in a call, but being in a good buying state when joining the call decreases as you scale. So this is a massive problem for most seven-figure coaches, and this is one of the problems that Arthur was facing in his business. The second issue is your sales cycle gets longer. Again, as your traffic warmth goes down, your sales cycle goes up, your expenses go up. So as you scale, you're spending more on ad spend, you're spending more for CSMs, for sales admins, sales reps, media buyers, all of these things that six-figure businesses don't necessarily face, seven-figure businesses do. Or as you want to get to a seven-figure business, multi-seven-figure business, then this happens. So your expenses go up, your sales cycle goes up. So the time it takes to get the cash back from your ads, from the content you're producing, increases. Now, this is a massive issue because your margins then get tanked from this, and there's more stress. You can't reinvest more back into the business like comfortably, and also you can't earn as much for yourself, right? So this is another massive issue which Arthur was facing. Another one is one method of consumption. So this isn't necessarily a problem in terms of, this is caused, but this is a problem within the business. So having a bad YouTube channel or no YouTube channel doesn't cause this, but this is a problem of not having one. And that is because when you only post short form, even if it's on multiple platforms, you're only realistically reaching a certain percentage of your audience. Bear in mind, it's not exactly 28%, right? It could be more, but the odds are that it's not this number. And some people avoid short form entirely. So some of your best buyers don't consume short form, and this is a narrative that's only going to increase more as time goes on. People understand that short form is not the best place to get educated. It's not the best for your brain. And most people in general need depth and actual time spent with you to know that, to not only learn, but to know that you are the person that they trust, right? If you have short form and long form, you're covering all consumption types, so short form and long form buyers. You're building depth and understanding, so you're spending more time with your audience, and you're maximizing trust before the call for your reps, right? That's another thing. The final thing I believe, is weak buy-in and increasing refund rate. So this is dispute rate as well. This is another massive thing that most people don't actually consider as a part of, okay, how can I scale, or how can I reduce risk in my business? Most people think, okay, how can I book more calls? How can I collect more cash, or on the back end? But a massive thing that you can do is decrease your refund rate, decrease your dispute rate, and obviously increase your LTV, which is part of this. Now, if you have cold buyers that come in from ads or even just find you on short form, they come in, if they're ICP, they might hit a lead magnet, book in a call, and then buy, but they're less bought into you as a mentor because they've spent less time with you. They're less bought into the vision of the journey that they're about to go on with you, because again, mentorship, coaching, and services are long-term relationships. Even if they have multiple mentors, you ideally want them to essentially be bought into the journey that they're going to spend with you. They're less bought into the work required to make it work. So for me and this video, for you to come and let my team manage your channel, I need to paint the realistic version or what it actually takes to make YouTube work, so that you're bought into the work required, right? You're bought into the fact that it takes actual input from the creator, and it can't just be outsourced. You can't outsource creativity to a team completely anyway. And yeah, they're less likely to get results. They're less likely to buy again, which is decreased LTV, and they're less likely to become a brand ambassador. So someone who, if you have merch, buys your merch, someone who recommends or talks to their friends, or refers you people, or, speaks well on your business. But if someone is a long form buyer, they've spent hours with you. If you do your channel right, they then get on a call and then they buy, right? So they're more bought into you as the mentor, more bought into the vision, more bought into the work required. They're more likely to get results, more likely to buy again, and more likely to become a brand ambassador. If you have a good channel, even after people buy from you, they'll still continue to watch your channel, learn from you, and actually enjoy your videos, which has multiple positive effects. And we won't get into in this video, but it's huge for you as the business and as a personal brand. So if we quickly compare short form / ad buyers, they pay less upfront, they have more objections, they have slower results once they join your program or service on average, and they have worse results on average after they join. And long form buyers are the opposite. So pretty simple. I know this is quite cliche, but what would it actually look like though if you ask yourself, if your business could nurture leads at scale properly, if you could dramatically shorten your sales cycle and keep it there as you scale, if you could instantly reach 15 to 20% more of your client avatar with content, if you have clients that are bought into you, the vision, and understand the work required to succeed, if they got better results quicker and have a higher average LTV, what would that actually look like to you and your business, right? These are all massive changes that have long-term impacts, because these are things that exactly happened to Arthur. And again, I'll break down the exact numbers. These numbers are insane numbers, and these had massive impacts into the funnel. So that's exactly what happened with Arthur. But now you know what the consequences of not having your YouTube channel dialed in are. Increasing sales cycle length, decreased lead nurture, clients refunding more often, being less bought in, having more objections, paying less, all of these things. What was actually broken when it came to his channel? Not what was happening because his channel was broken. What was actually broken, so you can, spot these patterns and change them for yourself. Well, when we started working with him, as a quick reminder, he had been posting for an entire year with his videographer alone. He was posting multiple 5 to 15 minute videos per week. He was stuck at 2K subscribers. His highest viewed video was 2.2K. He had collected less than 10K from his channel directly, and it was a mess, to be honest, and he wanted to make a change, which is why he came to us. First thing is branding, which is a massive thing that most people don't consider when it comes to YouTube. They kind of understand that they need a good thumbnail to get people to click, but what they don't understand is that it's not just getting people to click, it's about branding, how people actually see your business, what kind of quality, because marketing and branding and content are mostly subconscious, so subconscious changes or reactions that people have. And when your branding looks like this, then not only is your click-through rate going to be low, which means people aren't even going to see your content, which is the biggest thing, but they're also going to be like, this guy's quality or service or offer is terrible. Now, that's the biggest thing as well, and we'll get into that. We hardly made any actual changes to the videos Arthur produced. We didn't hire an editor. We didn't get him to change up completely what he was doing. We just changed the packaging, ideas, and thumbnails and titles to get people to actually watch the videos. And once they got into the videos, because there wasn't much competition and Arthur is a great speaker, they came back, and that's pushed his channel, etc., and it grew pretty quickly. So if you're not getting views, it's not that your videos necessarily are bad, it's just that you don't have the correct packaging, you don't have the correct strategy. And if you genuinely know what you're talking about and you're not, one of those frauds, and you want a YouTube sales funnel set up to get more views, get more sales, then check the description in this video. Now, I think personally that the reason why the kind of thumbnails were like this was because the main competitor at the time had thumbnails similar to this. Now, they're not completely the same, but oftentimes in life, if the standards around us or the people around us aren't producing to a certain quality or are producing to a certain quality, we'll oftentimes just stick to that standard. So because there was no one really pushing a crazy good standard in the market, they were happy with these thumbnails, right? Whereas if their main competitor was producing these beautiful thumbnails, was actually getting views, then they would have known that the potential and quality needed to be, the potential could have been much greater, but also the quality needed to be much better. And yeah, you have to ask yourself, like, if you look at your own thumbnails right now, does anything about your thumbnails, the same way anything about these thumbnails, say I'm an expert in my field, you can trust me, and the quality of my service or offer is high? All right, and to me personally, when I look at these, it was no, and that's what they were looking like before we started working together. And by the way, I'm not going super in detail. There were obviously more things than this. Obviously, there's way more details to all of the things I'm saying, but I want this to be about the why rather than the how, because if I tell you the why, then you understand the content better, and if you do it for yourself or you work with us, then those are the changes you need to know. With YouTube, you have to understand the platform and get someone else to do it for you rather than doing all of it yourself. So the second one is packaging and alignment. One thing that Arthur's team didn't understand and was not doing is that it wasn't packaging the videos for their ICP. Now, this video is just one that I pulled from the batch of thumbnails before, And the idea itself, day in the life, so kind of a vlog style itself, is like 80% there. That's kind of what was working in the market at the time. So day in the life, like they were getting views in the market, which is why they were doing it. And this video idea worked well for us. After the first video we posted was a vlog, and it got 24K views, I think, within the first week, right? And all of his other vlogs were getting, 500 views, 2K views, and there's a reason for that. But the idea itself is not bad. The title is about 35%. Again, you have to actually use titles that give people a reason to click. Your thumbnails attract, and your titles give people a reason to click. And this title is just super boring. Day in the life of a developer testing soils. If I read that, it just seems like he's going to be testing, or it's quite, obvious. It's quite, intentional to make it sound like he's just testing soils, but who actually wants to watch that? Thumbnail is just horrible. And yeah, so the thumbnail is even worse, 15%. Again, day in the life of a developer, like half of that, like a third of that is kind of the format we use to actually grow his channel. But yeah, it's just these small things with YouTube. If you don't understand the platform, you don't understand the platform. But the concepts, which are the ideas and the way it's formatted, and the packaging, so the title and thumbnail, have to align with not only what your audience needs, so what they need to see to buy, but what they actually want to see to make buying decisions. So what I mean by that is everyone knows what their audience needs to see or watch to make buying decisions. They need to understand that you're an expert. They need to trust you, right? They need to align with your values, and they need to like you. They need to know, like, and trust you. But what they want to see is different. Your audience need to see those things to make buying decisions, but you have to format and package your videos in a way that they want to watch. So if you see this within the video is what they need to see, so him actually living the day-to-day, what it's like to be a developer, showcasing his expertise, but on the outside it's what they want to see. In this it's not, but this exact structure changed can get 10 times more views or 100 times more views with just different packaging, right? It's within the video that has the needs, and it's outside with the wants. So within the video, you have to showcase yourself, your personality, your expertise, but on the outside, it has to be content or packaging that they actually want to see. I hope that makes sense. If it's not making sense, you can message me on Instagram as well. I'll leave that in the description with any questions. If you want to get on call, I'll audit your channel with genuinely no sales pitch, just to actually help you. And yeah, if you are interested, like I said, you can also check in the description to let us manage your channel. But the third is the execution style. So remember what I said earlier, he had a sophisticated audience, which means that they understand sales funnels to a certain degree. They're not going to fall for this insane like marketing campaigns. They are older, they have good pattern recognition, and they see the studios, they've seen it in multiple. Sophisticated as well as like they would check their competitors, that kind of stuff, and they would associate through pattern recognition that the studio is them being sold to. And this subconscious distrust of being sold to, knowing that there's a pitch coming, which there actually was in all of the videos. It was a pre-recorded CTA, but they basically have a distrust towards the value being provided. So again, it's a subconscious thing where if they know a sales pitch is coming or the point of the video is to sell, then they're more likely to click off, they're more likely to not watch, they're less likely to come back, which again affects your channel massively, but also your business. And yeah, some insider context is as well, they did their webinars in this studio. So if your audience have seen you, on a webinar and you get pitched as well, and they're a sophisticated audience and they don't like being pitched necessarily, then it contributes to that as well. So those are the three problems, but how did we actually fix these problems, and what do we do for our clients to make these changes? Again, not going into a lot of detail, but the first one for branding was we got very clear on who we were targeting, the exact ICP, and we got very clear on how Arthur wanted to be seen by his audience. And for you, you get clear on who you're targeting and how you want to be seen by your audience. So get clear on who we were targeting. Before, they were doing a lot of content towards people that wanted to build their first home, so consumers. And over time, they realized, around this time period, they realized that their better buyers were the people on the B2B side, the ones that wanted to start it as a business, the ones that already had a business and wanted to transition. So we got super clear on that audience, and we eliminated the video ideas, the titles, the packaging for that type of audience, and just dialed in on the B2B side. And then the how he wanted to be seen was Arthur is a very chill guy, again, sophisticated audience. So we didn't want to feel like it was salesy. We did very organic feeling thumbnails, as you'll see in a second here, very organic feeling videos, just kind of a big brother, the videos felt and the brand felt, giving you advice and kind of speaking his thoughts as the expert. So this is the first one, branding. Again, it's not just about getting people to click, it's about how they want to see you and what they want to associate you with. The second is packaging and alignment. Again, all of these things kind of tie into each other, but this was the first month of working with them. Remember, his highest viewed video was 2.2K. This was the first video we helped out with, and it got 23K views in the first month. This one didn't do so well. The main thing is 4 minutes, like 4 minutes in the title wasn't great. This was kind of just when we started working together. Next one was 2.1, 1.9, 9K, and then 1.1. So we broke his view record by 10 times and then by 4.5 times roughly here within the first month of working with him. But what I mean by packaging alignment here is, as you can see, a lot of the thumbnails here are very organic thumbnails, right? Then just frames taken from the video. And what we like to kind of call these is just action shots, where it basically feels like it's in the middle of an action, where if you pressed the picture, it would resume playing the video and it would go to him speaking. So most of these are frames from the video. This one here is a frame from the video. This is a posed one, probably why I didn't do as well. This is a posed one again, but I think this one did well because again, branding, a lot of the audience were family, older men, family men that, appreciated that he was a family man as well. But yeah, like this is an action shot from the video. This is an action shot. This is posed, but it could be seen as an action shot. And this was posed too, but it could be seen as an action shot. But again, packaging alignment, no crazy Photoshop, no Canva editing with these, just natural frames that showed him smiling, showed him around, again, association with the houses, with sites, with construction sites to align with what his audience wanted and needed to see. And then the next part is execution style. So a lot of people underestimate how much of an effect or how much this matters. But we basically changed to much more natural style videos. They started doing videos where he was just speaking to the camera on the way to the site, when he was at the site, when he was on calls with people. And it was a very natural setting, which is obviously authentic. It shows people a real life insight to what not only the business model feels like, but a real life insight to Arthur's story and day to day. So it's a realistic breakdown and connection with him as a person. And then again, another massive thing that people don't think about is a natural setting means your audience is more open to consuming and the speed to trust and value increases. So what I mean by that is, instead of a studio where they associate with pitching, they see a natural setting, which feels like the video is natural. They're more open to consuming it because it feels like just a general breakdown. What the psychological things are still happening to get them to a buying state, but they're more likely to consume or binge videos, which means they're quicker to trust him and they're quicker to receive the value. And those are the three main changes, again, not going into a lot of detail, but the number difference was massive, and I'll do a quick breakdown of that. So from less than a month and a half, they had total of 507 calls total in the business. They had 43 booked calls from YouTube, which is less than 9%. So just remember that number. They had a total of 319,000 cash collected, and 26% of all cash was from YouTube. So 83,000 from 43 booked calls from YouTube. It was 8.5% of booked calls, but 26% of total cash collected. That alone tells you enough. This number here wasn't too crazy, only 6%, like around 6% better, 40% sharp rate here and 46% sharp rate for YouTube booked calls. Close rate, we have a 36.8% better close rate for calls from YouTube and 2.6 times better on showed calls for YouTube versus other ones. Cash, we had an average of $19.35 per call versus $509. So 3.8 times more cash per booked call, which is just insane, right? Quick breakdown, 8.5% of all calls, 26% of total cash, highest sharp rate, 46 versus 40, 60% versus 23%, which is insane, far more cash per call, etc., etc. Now, this was in the first couple months of working with them. He actually collected like way more than this. I don't have the exact numbers just because the offer was so big and they didn't have great tracking at the time. But yeah, insane. And that's pretty much it, right? If you want to get on a channel audit call, like I said, you can either message me on Instagram or book in a call below. If you want to learn how to make better YouTube videos without spending a shit ton of time recording, you want to make more money and become an industry leader and just overall collect more cash, you can message me on IG with any questions or book a call in the description if you're ready to close and get your channel managed by me and my team. If that was helpful, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be dropping other case study breakdowns, other insights and tactics that you can use to make more money from YouTube. Peace.